Hello, New Covenant family. In our sermon yesterday, we continued our series on Jesus in the Old Testament by looking at Jesus in the book of Exodus. This series is called "They Spoke of Him," which is the Old Testament, the book of Exodus, Moses, all of these things. They're speaking of Jesus over and over again. And we saw this in Exodus chapter 3, where God reveals himself as I am. And what we saw is that God revealed himself to Moses and to Israel as I am who I am. And in that revelation of himself as I am who I am, Jesus fulfills this idea. And what is God calling us to do? He's calling us to worship him for who he is. So that I am statement that God makes in Exodus 3 talks about how God has always been, his eternality. It always refers to his self-existence, right? He is not dependent on anyone or anything else. All of those ideas are coming to a head in Exodus 3 as Moses is about to redeem the people out of Israel. But that redemption looks forward to a greater and fuller redemption that is going to be found in the person and work of Jesus Christ. And what Jesus does is he calls himself the I am. The Gospel of John begins with the idea that grace and truth came through Moses, but Jesus, who is at the Father's side, has made God known. Right? So Moses revealed some things about God, but Jesus truly and fully and really makes God known. And so when Jesus says, I am, and he has those I am statements throughout, I am the bread of life, I am the light of the world, I am the gate, I am the good shepherd, I am the resurrection and the life, I am the way, the truth, and the life, I am the true vine. And that final one, before Abraham was, I am. When Jesus makes those statements, he's not merely saying, I am, and it doesn't mean anything. He's saying that he is that one who has always been and always existed. And because God is who he is, we want to approach him and worship him for who he is. When God reveals himself, it is our responsibility to respond to him in the way that he expects us to respond. So I pray that this week, as you are reading scripture, as you're encountering God in the pages of scripture, as we're in community and we're talking about the things of God, I pray that we would be drawn to worship God for who he is. I'm thankful for each one of you. I hope that you have a wonderful week.